All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of AH Live. It's episode 68, and we have the incredible Greg Manning in the house. If you don't already know, we're good buddies for the last several years. We actually started off together on the same label, Kalimba Music, which was founded by Maurice White, the lead singer and founder of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So Greg and I have been hanging for a long time, and I also have to give him a shout out. He introduced me to that label, and that's where I got started with this track actually you're hearing right now, and everything else that came out on those first two albums. So anyways, really excited to share the music with you. Speaking of which, do us a favor, click share. We want to spread the good vibes. We're here every Wednesday with incredible guests, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and today is very special as well. Not only will we hear from Greg, but in just a minute or so, I am going to do another reveal from the new album. This is a world debut of another track off of the upcoming release, Rising Up, which is my fourth album. So excited to share that with you. And actually, I said in a minute, but you know what? Let's just get to it right now. I can't wait to share it with you. This tune is called Undeniable. It is track 9 off of the new album, and it features a bunch of incredible musicians. Trevor Lawrence Jr. on drums. He's toured with everybody from Alicia Keys all the way to Herbie Hancock. We've got Donald Hayes did the horn arrangement. Michael Stever, who is, you know from the Brian Culbertson Band, is playing trumpet. I did a lot of the keys and guitars and bass on this track, actually. There's also Carnell Harrell on some keys, and also the one and only Ramon Islas on some of the percussion. So let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the world debut of a tune off the new record. It's track 9 and is called Undeniable. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the world debut of track number 9 off the new album, Rising Up. That track was called Undeniable. I hope you enjoyed it, and this tune and all of the rest of these tracks are available, of course, when they're released, but you can get them before that. If you go to my Indiegogo page, you just click the link in the description or go to Indiegogo and type in Adam Hawley, and you can get the album before it's released. It is coming very soon, and we have a bunch of other incredible perks on there as well. Signed CDs, t-shirts, all the way up to me appearing at your next event. So appreciate you guys in advance. We've had well over 80 people contribute so far, and I can't do it without you guys. You guys have contributed for every single album, and it's been just incredible. And of course, if you want to help out the show in general, just go to Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. We got those links in the description as well. And you guys are the reason we are episode 68 deep into AH Live. So appreciate you guys. And without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the incredible Greg Manning with some conversation in his brand new #1 Billboard hit. Hope you enjoy.
All right, what's up, Greg? How you been?
Hey, Adam. I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Man, of course. It's so great to have you back. You were on, man, it's been almost a year.
What episode was I on?
Oh, I'm going to have to go back and look, but it was early on. It was in the 20s maybe. So man, It's a different time now. We were in the throes of the lockdown and everything.
Yep.
And so now we're, slowly starting to come out on the other side. So appreciate you coming back, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to do a little backstory before, because you've got some fantastic music coming out. But last time we got to know your beginnings in music. We didn't get a chance to talk about some of the legendary artists that you worked with prior to your celebrated solo career. There's one that we have in common, Brian McKnight, except that you played with him.
Oh my God! Oh my.
He was at a zenith. This is when he was the man. I mean, he still is, but you were there, like in the large-scale touring scenario. Just give us a little backstory. What was that experience like?
Oh man, it's funny you bring this up because in a way it was a great experience, and in a way it was a tough experience. Yeah, he was really at the height of his career. He just had the big hit. I think it was called Back at One.
Yeah.
And I basically got the call overnight, and then a week later I was supposed to start touring with him. So within a week I had to learn all the music, and I knew his music pretty well from the records, from the CDs. But when I got the live tape, I was like, oh my God, every other bar there was like a hit, a unison thing. I mean, completely different from the record. So I was just sweating, and I had a great time. We did stadium tours. We played in North America. We went down to South Africa. Just had a great time. But it was a tough thing for me because, as you probably know, you play with him. Brian would change the show every night.
Yeah.
It's never the same thing, and I'm not lazy, but I like to settle in, and I like to play the same, more or less play the same show every time. But with Brian, no, it was always different. So I think I lasted about for 6 months with Brian, and then it was time to move on. But it was a great experience. I've never done stadiums, playing in front of 20, 30,000 people. It was really a great experience.
It's so funny you say that, because I had a similar beginning with him. I filled in for my friend Tara Capone for maybe a year, or just doing dates here and there. And but yeah, I got the music 3 days before the first show, and then when I got, there was no rehearsal, but I got to sound check, and then already it was changing, at sound check. And I was thinking to myself, man, it would be great to just kind of go through the stuff I need to, I've never done this show, instead of like, let's add these lines, Oh man. Well, there's one more too. You spent many years, if I'm not mistaken, you were music director for Jonathan Butler. Isn't that right?
Oh, JB, that's my man. Yes. I played with him for almost 9 years, almost a decade. I started as his keyboard player and then moved on to become his musical director. And I mean, to this day, I think, you know, in terms of musicianship, he's my hero. The guy is so talented, you know, it's just incredible. His guitar playing is so soulful, his singing, the way he approaches composition. I've learned a lot, and I had the good fortune of co-writing. I think we did 3 tunes. I think I co-wrote 3 tunes on his albums. Great experience. Yeah. No, and I always say it's not fair to be able to play like that and sing. You know. I know. It's like, you know, so sometimes God takes a person and just puts too much into this one, you know. But it was a great experience. And as a matter of fact, you know, a little backstory. I was a student at Berklee College of Music, and one of the professors, Carl Beatty, he organized a master class with JB playing, and he asked me to play keyboards for Jonathan. That was back in, I think, in 92. And even then, I was a huge fan of Jonathan's. When I lived back home in Switzerland, I ran to the store to get his first record. You know, it was double vinyl. It was called Introducing Jonathan Butler. I remember I ran to the store to get this. Tunes like, I think Sarah, I'm not sure, but Lies was on there, you know, just loved it. So I played with JB, we connected in 92, and then later on when I moved to Atlanta, to the States, he called me and said, "Hey Greg, would you be interested in playing with me?" And I said, "Yeah, you know, I'm kind of busy, but let's do it." Yeah, no, it was a great experience. So for like 9 years, I traveled the world with Jonathan.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, let's fast forward to your music. I have one more question before we get to your smoking hot new single. But you are a multi-talented gentleman as well. Tell us a little bit. I'm so curious about this project, Between the Sun and the Moon. It's more orchestral based, and it's so gorgeous. What was the inspiration behind that?
Here's a little backstory. You know, it's really something that came from my heart, because in the middle of 2000, around 2005, I got the call from Swiss TV to be the music director for, it's called Music Star, but it was basically American Idol in Switzerland. So I went back home and did that for, I think, for 5 seasons. And it was also a great experience, but I basically stopped playing because I was the music director for the show and just had to deal with all the logistics, with all the different contestants. And when I came back to the States, I was just able to do what I wanted to do. So basically for a year, I was in a studio and I didn't care about anything commercial. I just wanted to do music from the heart. And I'm a huge fan of, you know, Pat Metheny, of course Lyle Mays, and these kind of orchestral influences also shaped the record. So it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's a total mix. There's some orchestral stuff, there's some tribal African stuff in there, and by the way, Jonathan is a guest, had a guest appearance on a track called The Journey, which is kind of, you know, Africa meets orchestral world, and Jonathan played it and sang on the track. So in a way with him, I came full circle. And I keep teasing people, you know, on Facebook, on the internet. I say, yeah, I'm going to release it, but I haven't done so. But I think within a month or 2, I'm definitely going to release it.
Oh, we cannot wait to hear it. I saw the album cover on your social media, so I thought it was out. So, okay, we got to look forward to that. Because
I know, I tease everybody. I keep saying it's going to be out, but it's not out yet. but it'll be out soon. And also, you know, I got very lucky with my current single, Sunrise Boulevard. It's doing really well. It's going up the chart. So I didn't want to confuse people or interfere with how that song is going.
100%. Well, definitely. So we have that to look forward to, and you mentioned the single. That's what I wanted to get to next. You put the band back together. You had the Song of the Year with Top Down in 2019, and so I believe we have some of the same folks on the recording of this new single. Isn't that right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you for paying attention to that. You know, so Daryl Crooks is on guitar again, and Jimmy Reed is on saxophone. So it's the same crew that played on Top Down.
No, and the track is killer, and in the middle, I don't know if you call it the bridge or the interlude, but you fit in about as much music as I've ever heard in a contemporary jazz song. Man, it is so killer. What's the backstory to that section of the song in particular?
You know, of course, you are a true musician, so you would notice. I think for some reason I got away with murder, because I snuck some bebop lines in there, and there's a lot of, like, you know, chromatic approach notes going on. Usually people are like, oh no, you know, you cannot do this. It's too dissonant. But I don't know. Somehow I just got away with it. And I firmly believe, you know, if you have a groove, if you have something that people can latch onto, you can get away with anything basically.
And it reminds me of the song. The title escapes me, but it was a collaboration between Chuck Loeb and Mitch Foreman, and it was a similar thing. He put this whole soli at the end of the song, and I know Mitch Foreman. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly. I was so impressed by that song because there is so much music in there. Yes.
It's killer. And Mitch was telling me the backstory. He said, well, you know, Chuck, it was almost like a joke. He put it at the end thinking, well, they'll never play this on the radio because they always play the radio edit. Well, the stations ended up picking the full-length version, and so all of this, like, you know, hilarious, just like intricate lines.
Yes.
Being on the radio over and over.
Yes.
So you continued in that tradition. Well, we talked enough about it. Let's hear it. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the new single from Greg Manning, Sunrise Boulevard. I could see why it's just climbing up the charts, man. And also, I see that we've got some events coming up. In particular, I see you're going to be hanging out with Roland. He's got a new festival. I'm going to be with him here in a few weeks, but you're doing his intimate jazz getaway. And is that you and Jeff Ryan hanging out again?
Yes, exactly. It's a double bill. It's in October, I think 21st and the 23rd. And I'm so looking forward to it, We're going out there, play live again. It's going to be great. And Florida, so the weather is going to be killing.
Definitely. No, man, I can't wait as well. I'm going to be down there in a few weeks for his series, and
nice.
So yeah, Roland has been a real champion of the music. So definitely, ladies and gentlemen, try to make it down there and catch Greg and Jeff. And just remind us one more time, where can we find you online and social media, Greg?
Easy. Online, go to my website, gregmanningmusic.com, and I think same handle on Facebook. I think Instagram is Greg Manning Keys. I'm not sure, but just put in Greg Manning and you'll find me somewhere.
Awesome, and look for that new single, Sunrise Boulevard. Well, appreciate you, Greg, so much for checking back in. Thanks for making the time.
Hey man, thanks Adam. Thanks for having me. Great chatting with you.
Oh my goodness, that was so awesome. Appreciate you, Greg Manning. Incredible as usual with his number one hit. And hey, you guys know what time it is. It's time to bring in my lovely wife, Kat, with the Cat Cam. Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Well, I am lovely. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You are looking gorgeous.
Thank you.
Got your hair did.
Got
and
my
everything.
hair did, yes. And you look cute too. That shirt always looks nice on you. I like that color.
Well, thank you. I think you picked this one out, so it should look good.
Probably.
You know what you're doing over there. Well, I'm sure you guys probably noticed already, we did pre-record this episode. We are right now in Hawaii doing our family vacation, finally. We usually go in the winter time, but of course it was still a little weird in the winter of 2020, obviously. And so we finally got a chance to get out and enjoy Waikiki, one of our favorite places. So we will be sharing the photos when we get home. But if you've been following us on social media, I'm sure you've been seeing us post already. So, but hey, we didn't want to miss. We are on a 68-week streak with AH Live.
It's so amazing. I literally cannot believe it.
Isn't that wild?
It is wild because it is a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know, especially you putting in hours in the interviews and then music and then, of course, editing.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of work, but it's also therapeutic.
100%. Even though that we're back out on the road, this is still, we look forward to this every Wednesday. It's such a community that is developed here.
It is a community.
You guys are so much fun. And as I mentioned last week, it's a very different experience. I'm able to dig deep into the catalog tracks I wouldn't normally play. Also give you these previews of the new album.
Right.
Whereas the live show is awesome too. It's obviously great to get to see you guys in person, get the energy from you guys. So it's fun, it's fun to do both.
It is fun. And what I have enjoyed is having met people through AH Live and, just seeing their tiny little photo, their profile photo of Facebook, and then chatting with them in the chat every week on the show, and then actually meeting them for the first time in person at the live shows.
100%.
I know when we were in Melbourne, Florida doing the show there, and we had met Edgar Correa. Hi, Edgar.
What's up,
if you're
Edgar?
watching. And so I met Edgar through, him watching the show and then always commenting every week and asking Ask Adam questions.
Yeah.
And then we finally got to meet him in Florida, as did a lot of other people. There were a few people that I had never even seen their photo before and said that they watch every Wednesday.
100%.
So it was really, really nice.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, well, let's get to the task at hand. Greg Manning, our dear friend, we've known him, it might be 10 years now.
Yeah.
And, and shout out to Greg. I mentioned it earlier in episode, but it's always a funny story. And I think I mentioned it the first time he was on the show, but I had him captive. We had both just played with the saxophonist Elon Trotman in Las Vegas. Greg's album had just came out. I didn't have a record out yet, but Greg had some success. He had a huge song, Dance With Me, and so I said, hey, Greg, just picking his brain. Honestly, I was not trying to sell myself, but he said, hey, Adam, when your record's done, just let me know. I'll make sure to get it over to the label. And so we ended up being label mates along with Paula Atherton. So always grateful to Greg for that and his friendship. And so anyways, it was awesome to get him back on the show. This was his second edition on AH Live. And man, he sounded awesome with his new #1 song, didn't he?
Yes, new #1. Congratulations,
Woo!
Greg.
So excited for you, Greg.
Awesome. I know. It's really cool. It's always nice, especially even people that you don't know, but especially people that you've known for years and you consider them friends, and you both have just been a part of each other's lives, you know, through your musical journey. So it's always nice to see our friends and the people that we love and care about, just doing well, having success, or even just like doing something that they've been wanting to do for a long time.
Right.
So it's like so great to see Greg's song at #1. But Greg is like a master writer, a master producer.
100%.
Every song that he touches sounds amazing.
He's always taking a charge at the top of the charts. So, and he had Song of the Year in 2019 with Top Down.
Yeah.
So hey, it's no surprise.
No surprise.
And you know what I was thinking of too is having Greg on the show, and then of course you here is we had such a fun experience hanging out with Greg back in 2019 in his home country of Switzerland.
Yes.
Greg was such a sweetheart. I remember talking to him and just mentioning offhand, oh yeah, we're going to Portugal. I got a show out there. He said, when? And I told him, he said, I'm doing a show in Switzerland the week before. You must come and you must play. And it was just so gracious of him. He had me be a part of his concert. I did a few songs.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. We went to his parents' house and we had raclette for the first time, which was so, it's an amazing Swiss dish. So we'll always cherish those memories. I think we spent 4 days in Switzerland.
It was just so gorgeous. And that was my first time in Switzerland. And it just was so beautiful. I think my breath was just taken away just by like the culture and the people.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved the architect and just the vibe of the city, and then of course his beautiful parents. It was just wonderful.
The best. Yeah,
it was really wonderful.
We didn't want to leave, and we got to see Christian.
Yes, we
dear
got to
friend
see
of
Christian
ours.
Regley.
He's
Hi,
usually
Christian.
hanging out in the chat, and so it was good to see him as well. So it was such a blast. So,
it was a blast.
So appreciate you, Greg, as always, for coming through, sharing your talents, and you were awesome as always.
Awesome as always.
So we mentioned last week how the pool is coming along slowly.
Oh my goodness.
We've picked out some tiles to check out. So we do have some new pictures for you. We didn't have pictures last week. So I'll let Kat narrate because I will, I don't know what is going on here with these.
Okay.
So let's cycle through these. Maybe you can kind of tell
through.
people what our mentality is, what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we've shown you guys these photos once before. This is when they did the shotcrete, which is where they just spray the concrete on like the hole that was there.
Yeah.
And so they formed it. So we have like our Baja there, and there's going to be like an encasing in the center, so we could put like umbrellas there, and we could put lounge chairs on the long Baja. So that's there. The pool is, and so there you go. You see the Baja on the step, and then there's the jacuzzi. So it looks like it's coming along there.
Yeah.
So then we had to choose tile. And so last week, like we were saying, we went to a couple of different stores and we got a few samples of the stone that would be on the exterior wall of the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And then on the tall wall across the pool where like the water fountains will be. And so we kind of have like a little idea of what we like, but we took 3 samples home, so we're trying to cycle through those. So there's one of them. Sedona Gray.
I love these names too.
I know.
How do they come up with these names?
I was thinking that too. And so this is a quartz, which is best for if we're gonna have water running all the time, like hence the waterfalls, or if it's gonna be like in water.
Yeah, they told us there was a few materials. If you get it, it will disintegrate within a few years. It's like, well, let's not get those.
Yeah, because the marble was really beautiful, and the guy was like, no. He's like, it's pretty, but you're gonna have to replace it probably in like 8 years.
Right, exactly.
So there's this one. I like that one, and then this is
Sedona Platinum,
which is just a darker gray than the previous one we've seen. And then here is the Royal White. This one is really pretty because it just looks really Mediterranean to me. And
I like it. I just wonder, is it going to look dirty because it's white?
I know. I was thinking that too. And I just was like, I don't know. Because it gets windy here, guys. It gets super windy here where we are in the late winter. Well, early fall and then like late winter. And then, of course, all through Southern California, we have the Santa Ana winds in the spring. So, yeah. I don't know. And then you guys do know we talked about our dilemma going to a couple of stores trying to find tile to put on the water line, which I didn't think was going to be such a hard job. But we went to the 2 stores, and like I was saying last week, nothing was like really cute. Everything kind of looked like a Florida, I don't know, 1990s hotel or something. I don't know. I was not feeling any of it. And so
and then the ones that do look inviting, oh yeah, that's a back order, or if you install it, it has to cure for an extra month. And it's like all of these are pushing out when if we're actually diving in.
If it's glass, then it takes an extra 28 days to cure because they have to seal it and put like a special waterproof thing on it, so it has to like sit for another. So that would be another month until our finish date. And then other ones that were like super cute, and I was like, oh yeah, I could dig this. It's like special order, which then would take 4 to 8 weeks to even arrive.
Yeah.
And then if the special order is glass, then that's 4 to 8 weeks plus the 28 days. So we don't know. But so we took a few samples of some things that were cute. And
there we go.
So here's one, and this is a glass. I think it's glass, yeah. So I kind of like the glass look. I do like this color.
I like this, yeah.
They also have a white one like this.
Okay, let's see.
So there's the white one. It's just in a smaller tile size. So you could do, I think, the 6x6 and then whatever size this is, the 2x6. And this one was really cute. I would have like ordered this and just walked away, but of course they don't have it. And the girl that was working the counter, I don't know if she was new or something, because she said it was a special order and they didn't have any in stock. And I said, but if it's a special order, wouldn't I just purchase the amount that I want? And she's like, yeah, but we don't have it in stock. And I said, but if you have it in stock, then it's not a special order.
Yeah.
But whatever. I just was like, okay, thank you.
Who's on first? And then we had one more. Okay.
These ones are so dope, you guys. Oh my gosh, they are so cool. I think it's like a mix of some are porcelain and some are marble, but I really like these. And then when you put the grout inside and it's like, it just is like flush, it looks really cool. But yeah, these are the special order 4 to 8 weeks ones. And I was just
so it's like, do you want to swim now or later, and get what you really want? So we're still deliberating.
So it's really hard because it's something that obviously you're going to be staring at for a long time.
Right, yeah. And
I do want to be swimming at least within the next 6 weeks.
Right,
but then at the same time, in 2 months, I don't want to be like, this is so ugly. So we have
hard.
a lot of deliberating to do. And so all of those pieces, I think we have probably like 8 or 10 pieces out on the shotcrete just chilling. So we can like look out the window and look down. We could look when it's getting kind of dark to kind of see like the color and what would go with what stone. But I think we've already eliminated the white stone.
Okay.
Because that would need like a lot of tending.
And I thought that the gray, the Sedona was really nice actually. I thought it was a nice. So I think we kind of narrowed that down, which is helpful. So now anything we pick for the water line has to work with that.
Yeah.
So
so you
we're
guys
making progress.
Give us some suggestions.
Please
Yeah.
help.
So like I said, we've already eliminated the white stone. So let us know which gray stone you like, and then out of those tiles, except for the I don't know if I could wait that 4 to 8 weeks for the cute tile, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And some of you guys last week said that you had either places to look or like suggestions or something. So yeah, send those over, please, because we want to get this like ASAP.
Oh, it's so wild.
But I love that you guys have been on our journey with us.
Yeah,
for our
thank
pool.
you. Yeah, it's been a little longer than we thought.
Yeah.
But you know how it is always, though. They always say, "Oh yeah, you'll be swimming by the summer," and then summer is waning quickly.
Well,
so
yeah, and
it's gonna be the
the
fall.
lady at the store was like, "Well, everyone's trying to build a pool right now." I said, "I know, but we started a long time ago."
Yeah.
And we've had delays, but everything because of COVID is super delayed.
Yeah. Well, so the demolition and the digging, that was really fast.
That was very quick.
And then the rebar was pretty quick
That
too.
was quick too.
But then once the rebar was installed, getting the plumbing, nothing happened for at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, the plumbing, we were on a 4-week delay. So, yeah.
So now the shotcrete, and now that has to cure for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we have the tile in place, they can install it. So then it's on us. Do we pick something that's available now, or do we pick something that waits, and then we'll have to wait? So anyways, that's what's going on.
I know. Help us, you guys. Help us make a decision. Or send us some suggestions or something. And then like we were explaining last week, some people said to look at, other tile stores.
Yeah.
But we have to be very careful because we have the salt water. So we have to make sure that the material can withstand that,
100%,
and
yeah.
that the material can actually be installed for a pool, because since it's the water line, it'll be touching water constantly. So there are some that I saw like online, like Overstock and Wayfair, that said it was compatible for a pool. But I think I would have to send it to the contractor and be like, can we use this? Because I did see some that were really nice that I liked, but I'm curious if it could be in that space in the pool 24/7 for years.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, just water in of itself, it creates erosion, but then having it be salt water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's got to be specific material.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but
Crazy.
we'll see.
So that's what's going on. And then otherwise, we had a ton of Ask Adam questions we didn't get to last week. So let's make sure to tackle some of those.
Let's get to those. So this one is from Cece in London. Hi, Cece.
All right, what's up?
How are you doing? Good
UK
morning,
in the
I should
house.
say.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
She's always watching every week.
Oh,
it's
much
so
appreciated.
amazing. We really appreciate you, and we're so glad that you were able to find like a community, and you feel like you have to be here watching, even though it's like super early.
All right. Sorry, we're causing insomnia, but
I know.
hopefully we're making up with it with the community aspect.
So Cece says, which artist, living or dead, would you like to collaborate with?
Oh my goodness. You know what's so interesting is I just answered this question for a questionnaire for a jazz promoter down in Destin, and so I'll tell you the same thing I told him. Definitely Grover Washington, just because of his, what he means to the history of contemporary jazz would have been incredible. But there's so many amazing musicians that we've sadly lost. I mean, Miles Davis comes to mind. Wes Montgomery was the other that I mentioned in the questionnaire I did for the Destin promoter, Ray. But yeah, those are the ones that come to mind right away, just because of just their impact in the industry, what they mean to me and what they meant to me in my development. And I think we could make some pretty cool music. So yeah, those would be my choices. Grover, Miles, Wes Montgomery, I think would be more for my just for my kicks, because I don't know how many guitar dueling records we would make, but maybe just to do a gig together would have been fun. But I spent so much time shedding Wes Montgomery. Even before I got into contemporary jazz, I was studying him for straight ahead, and just for my chops in terms of playing through changes and playing standards. And it was once said, I remember when I was at USC, if you're going to be a great guitar player, you have to go through Wes. You have to study him. So he's just a huge influence. So yeah, that's my list. I'm sticking to it.
Sticking to the list. And this is from Ellen Nakata Harper.
Okay.
And she says, or asks rather, is there any particular song on the new album that was more challenging to write play or produce than any others?
That is a great question. Let me think about the record. Definitely the single, which I'm going to debut for you guys next week. So make sure you tune in. The new single I had to spend a lot of time on. It's not that it's the hardest song to play, but just fitting all the pieces. There was just a lot of pieces that went together. And I'll explain that next week. So that was one I spent a lot of time on. The other song I spent a lot of time on was a track which we haven't debuted yet, but it's the track that my lovely wife is singing on. And it has nothing to do with her. It just has to do with vocals. Vocals are just a lot of work when you are producing, mixing, editing. So I spent about, I would say, 10 days straight, nonstop. And she can attest to it. Very little sleep, staying up all night.
Yeah.
Just getting everything working together. But also that track has a ton of things going on. I got an incredible drummer on there. He tours with Michael McDonald. He did a great job. We had a string arrangement that we dropped in there. So we'll detail all this when we debut that song.
Beautiful.
So that was another one that I spent a lot of time on. But I spent a lot of time on the entire record. I mean, I started writing as soon as I finished Escape, my third record. And I probably had 60 songs in my folder that were possible. And my whole thing is I want 10 songs that fit together and tell a story. I don't want to just roll out 10 songs that are good in and of themselves. So the programming is really important to me. The order, what is track 1, what is track 2, etc. Because I really want to make a record that you can listen to from track 1 to track 10 without stopping.
Right.
You don't feel like you have to hit skip. And so a lot of great songs don't make them on my records, not because they're not great songs, they don't fit like the vibe. And so this record, Rising Up, was all about good vibes, good grooves, something you could dance to or bob your head to all the way through. And I'm so excited about it. So can't wait for you guys to hear it.
Awesome. So this is, you get this question quite a bit, but this is from James E. Johnson. And he says, how old were you when you started playing guitar?
Yeah, so I wanted to play guitar forever, from as long as I can remember, easily age 4, age 5. I remember I had one of those fake electric toy guitars that I used to kind of mess around with. And so I kept bugging my parents, and my mom, she had the foresight to say, you know what, you need to start with piano. So I started piano at 8, and then she said, if you play piano for a year, you can do the guitar. So I started guitar at 9, to answer your question. And I'm 36 now, so I've been playing guitar for 27 years. It's kind of crazy to say that.
Wow, I know, right?
And piano for 28. And so, yeah, that's when I got started. 9 years old, and started taking lessons at a studio, and then went on to go to USC and study music there. And so, yeah, still enjoying it. And it's a good thing, though, that I started on the piano, because now I play more piano than anything.
Right,
because I'm in the studio all the time producing, obviously working on my records, but also working on music for a lot of incredible artists I've had the opportunity to produce for and write for. So yeah, definitely do a lot of guitar, a lot of piano, and a fair amount of bass, too. So, yeah.
Fair amount of bass. I always like when you play the bass. Because it's like, it's so different from watching you play the guitar.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you're sitting differently, your arms are your hands are different, and then the whole entire vibe is just different. Because bass, you have to kind of be more relaxed, and you have to be funky. And so I don't know.
Hold it down.
I know he kind of transforms. So it's like, it's kind of I don't know. It's interesting to watch.
Well, thank you.
You play the bass.
You're too kind.
Well, thanks.
So we got time for one more. You got one more over there?
Yes. Okay. And this one, I am so sorry, because this was from a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And every time I would look at it, I would say, oh, I have to remember who asked this. And I couldn't get the name. I'm so sorry, because I was writing it down.
Well, if you're watching, chime in, claim the question.
Yeah.
Watch 10 people claim it. That was me.
Okay, so it says, Adam, you have your doctorate in, they're asking music, like with a question mark. And they said, where did you go to school for your doctorate?
Okay.
And how long did it take you?
So I went to the University of Southern California, USC, in Los Angeles. Fight on. And I did all my degrees there, my bachelor's, a master's, and doctorate. And the reason why I bring that up is that actually expedited the process. Normally doing a doctorate is at the least 3 years, and many people take longer than that. They'll work on their academic portion, and then work on their thesis or work on their recitals after that. But because I did my master's specifically at USC, a lot of classes actually translated, and I was able to get rid of some requirements during my master's for my doctorate. So I actually could have done it, believe it or not, in 2 years, but I was really busy at the time. Oh, by the way, we got married. We had Adam Jr. I was music director at a church, and I was touring 25 weeks out of the year with the Manhattan Transfer.
Yeah.
So it was super busy. So I ended up taking 2.5 years, but that was still ahead of schedule. Like I said, most people take at the minimum 3.
Yeah.
So I got my doctorate. I finished in the fall of 2010, and I've been teaching ever since. Of course, I was teaching before that, but since getting the doctorate degree, I've been teaching at a lot of different colleges and universities, and I'm currently at Saddleback College down in Orange County, and just having a blast down there. I think I've been there maybe 6 years now. And it's a lot of fun. I just teach 1 day a week now, but I always enjoy it. It's just really fulfilling. I enjoy giving back, but I get a lot out of it as well. Just some really talented students, and just have a lot of fun with it. So that's kind of the story behind my academic career.
And then for the first part of the question, what is the doctorate in?
So I have a doctorate of musical arts in studio jazz guitar. My academic field was education, and then I had 2 minor fields, which were jazz studies and music industry. So in other words, there was a lot of classes, a lot of papers, a lot of recitals. Qualifying exams were super challenging, so they really make you work for it. But I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience, and like I said, that's why I'm doing the teaching that I am now.
And it was a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work by itself, but then also a lot of work with a family, and then also touring all the time.
Yeah.
And so during that time, we were newly married. However, I rarely saw Adam because when he was home, he was locked in his office, either doing schoolwork or working on music for church. And then, or you were at school, like on campus, or...
And this is also a big reason why there was a huge gap between me starting on my first record and then me actually finishing it. There was the doctorate in between there. Because I started on the first record during my undergrad, 2005, 2006. And then there was a big gap there, and then got back into it in 2014. So. Yeah.
And then you were gone a lot. And then, Adam, he would be on the road, writing papers, taking
It was crazy. It was crazy.
In an airport.
You know what? I did one tour. We did a Christmas tour in Europe, and I remember distinctly because it was a bus tour. So what I would do is stay up all night, study, work on projects and whatnot, and then I would sleep when we would get on the bus, and I'd get about maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep when we would be driving to the next city.
Yeah.
So it was wild. It was really wild. So I would wake up, and the beginning of my day would be going to sound check on the show, and then most of the day would be after the show, staying up and doing all of the classwork. It was pretty wild.
Yeah. And then it was even kind of more crazy. I always love telling this story because it's so unique. Adam was in Europe, I think. This was when he was with the Manhattan Transfer. But you had to have all of your professors sign off on, I guess, like what was it, your ending thesis, I guess, like something. So I had to personally drive to all of their homes in the same day, all throughout Los Angeles and greater Los Angeles, to get their signatures for Adam, so he can, that would declare like you finishing your doctorate, and then you could walk, you know. And so I took all day just driving for hours, going, I think I had to go to 4 different houses. Yeah.
It's wild.
I know.
Wild
and I tell him all the time, if it weren't for my driving, you wouldn't have gotten here.
So do you get an honorary degree out of the deal? I mean, that is too funny. I had forgotten about that. That's right. Yeah, I was somewhere in Europe or something.
I know. I can't even remember, actually. But yeah. So that's the long tail of the question. Oh,
that is too crazy, too crazy.
But you guys got a nice little tidbit of a little bit of Adam's.
Hey, behind the scenes. Yeah. It happens here every week. So, well, thanks so much, honey,
You're
as
welcome.
always, for
and thank you guys
dropping in, and we will see you next week.
See you.
And as I mentioned, we are here every week, and I have an incredible artist next week. He's an incredible saxophonist, and not only am I excited to have him on the show, because he's fantastic, but also we're doing a show together in Rochester, New York. His name is Judah Seeley. He will be here next week on AH Live. And hey, I'll throw up my tour schedule just to show you guys too. If you notice here in August, it is August 19th. That is a Thursday night. We will be at the Club at Water Street in Rochester, New York. And it is their first show since COVID. So excited. I hope you guys can make it down. If you're anywhere near Rochester, it's going to be a fantastic show. I will be doing my set. Judah will be doing his set as well. We're going to collaborate. It's going to be so much fun. So tune in next week on AH Live for Judah Seeley. We'll talk more about our show coming up in Rochester, and cannot wait for that. So, hey, I've got one more tune before we get out of here. And I'm going to do a old favorite of mine. It's from the Isley Brothers. And a lot of people recorded over the years. So I gave you guys just a little bit of an unplugged version. It's called For the Love of You. Oh my goodness, it's always awesome to hang out with you guys on a Wednesday. Huge thanks to Greg Manning for stopping in, playing his brand new tune, which is shooting up the charts. In fact, it just topped the charts. And tune in next week for the one and only Judah Seeley. Remember, if you want to be a part of the new album, we make it super easy. Just go to indiegogo.com, type in Adam Holly. You can get the album before it comes out. And you can also just click the link in the description. And of course, if you also want to help out, you can do PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. And let's keep this going. AH Live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys. See you all next week.
Undress me, hooked on your tongue. Ooh, love your kisses and we don't stop. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so.